Okay, let's talk about SummerSlam. This was my prediction. My prediction was that Liv would win, but I knew that it would be at the fault of Dom. I didn't think that Dom was going to be the culprit. I thought that he was going to mess up and it was all going to be this plan that the Judgment Day had already kind of come up with, and he had absolutely no idea because, let's be honest, Dom's kind of a dumb shit. But look at it here. And the thing about it is, like, Dom played it off so well the last couple of, I don't know, months, and or like I guess like the last month or two, and even before that with like Damien and stuff. And I think that the whole thing about it is no one was expecting that, and I think WWE did a really great job because Dom and Rhea come out and it's this badass entrance and you're just like, hell yeah. Like this is what we've been wanting. This is like, we're seeing like the Dom and Rhea again, and I was actually kind of impressed by Dom for once. And lo and behold, at the very end, that steel chair, he takes it from Rhea. He kind of like drops it in the ring. Rhea gets hit. Rhea goes back, and like the entire time, Dom is chanting Rhea, 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 like hyping her up and hitting the mat and all of this stuff, all to find out that like Liv shoves her onto the steel chair and they counter out. And the funny thing to me, or like the part to me that actually made my jaw drop, was when Dom, like after, like he's like trying to get Rhea's attention and Liv like figures it out and goes and does that. He like walks off and he has this like little smirk on his face. And I was like, you dirty Dom asshole. I felt so bad for for Rhea because not that she is like losing Dom, because obviously like that's a storyline and whatever, she's happily married and all of that in real life, but in the storyline it's like the thing that really made me upset was that she is the strongest woman in WWE, and to lose her again, it's heartbreaking a little bit. But again, we got to go with the flow. Something exciting has to happen next. Okay, I'm going to continue because I'm on a roll. The next one is Sami versus Braun, which I predicted that Sami would win because Braun would make a mistake. And it kind of seemed like it in the middle, like where, Sami was going at Dom. My gosh, now I'm just thinking about Dom and Rhea. Sami was going at Braun, and like Braun was making some mistakes, but ultimately, like I actually did see Braun at the end, who is this like ultimate warrior. He has this power that I really think that is coming for all of us. Like I think he eventually is going to be like the biggest powerhouse. He's going to be the next Brock Lesnar, realistically. And right now, I think that this is like the start to that. So that's really exciting to see. Okay. Next one is LP versus LA Knight. And I have to say, both of them are fantastic in the ring, like as characters and as athletes. I have to give it to Logan Paul that he is just so athletic, and like the flips and the frog jumps and all of it, like the jump that he did, I think he even made like a TikTok about it, like where he's just like flipping off the top of the ring. It's insane to me, like how much athleticism he has in him. And it really shows that I think that eventually he will continue to come in WWE and make a really great name for himself. Needless to say, I am so happy LA Knight won. You know, he comes out week after week and everyone's screaming his name, LA Knight, yeah? And I think it's absolutely great. But I think one of the announcers actually said this, where, you know, if he keeps coming out every single week, yet he doesn't get a title, eventually people are going to get bored of him. And I totally agree with that, because, you know, we need someone who is like, we want the Roman Reigns per se, like where when you come out, or like the Cody Rhodes, where when you come out, people are cheering for you, you have the title, you have a reason why people are cheering for you. So I'm so glad that he got it, and you know, he really deserves it. He's a fantastic wrestler. He's a fantastic character. He does amazing on the mic. He's won so many matches, yet like it just like always comes this close and then he loses. So this time I'm so glad. And again, like I think I said this in my last video, like it was kind of interesting that I really did think that maybe Logan Paul would win because it's in his hometown. But it's kind of even better that he was in his hometown and they were booing him and he lost. So, very interesting there. Okay, next match is Nia versus Bayley. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I don't have interest in either of these characters that much, so I didn't pay a lot of attention. But from what I did see, like, Nia is a beast, but Bayley did an amazing job for how like big and strong Nia actually is. And of course, you know, like Tiffy had to come and interrupt and distract Bayley a little bit for Nia to win. So, you know, if I guess the question is like what's going to happen next? Because Tiffy has to go somewhere. She can't just be, you know, Nia's little patsy for however long. Like she has to have her own character, and like she wants to be boss. Like there's no way that she just is ready to like sit on the sidelines. Like Tiffy wants to be queen as well. She doesn't want to be Princess Tiffy. She wants to be, or like Money in the Bank Tiffy. So it's just a matter of who she's going to cash in on. If she's going to cash in on Nia, which would be kind of really interesting. I thought that's what was going to happen at SummerSlam, and that was one of my predictions, was that Nia would beat Bayley because of Tiffy, but Tiffy would come out and cash in on Nia because like Nia's worn out, everything, like she's ready to just be like pinned. Sadly, that didn't happen. So we'll see what happens next. I do think it's an interesting story, but I'm not like that interested in the Nia versus Bayley as much as I'm interested in like what happens with Tiffy and Nia. Okay, the next match, this one's a doozy, is the CM Punk versus McIntyre, with Seth obviously being the referee. Not obviously, but being the referee. Okay. This match was a roller coaster of emotions, I think, for everyone. And it was the one that we wanted to see the most. I think it was like the second most popular to the very final match. And I think that one of the things is Seth did such a good job of like hating both of them and like showing it and being like he would just like turn around and look the other way, and like McIntyre was getting so pissed at him because he was like, all you need to do is I'm gonna pin him and you just go 1, 2, 3. I thought that was so funny too. But you know, like I think CM Punk did a really great job of like playing his role of like he came back after a decade or something. I think it was like a decade, and you know, he's fighting and like they are both kind of against him, and I think I knew that from like he's like really terrorized them for a while now, where he hasn't let any of them win a match. He hasn't really like been in, he just like they both hate him more than he hates them. And so I think that like Drew and Seth definitely had like this thing where they were like, okay, if you win, if McIntyre wins, then Seth goes against CM Punk, which I think overall has been what WWE really has wanted. But it was like Seth got injured, and so what's the next best thing? Okay, let's put CM Punk versus McIntyre. CM Punk distracted McIntyre at WrestleMania, and CM Punk cost Seth his match at Money in the Bank, where Seth had like promised him, like was like, as long as it has, like if I'm even here, like I will make sure that you never win a match to CM Punk. And so I think that like it was a unified decision between CM Punk and, Drew McIntyre and Seth, that they were like, no more of this CM Punk business. We got to get him out and we got to win, because now it's like, well, if McIntyre wants to get a title, he has to fight like the next like the heavyweight champion, or you know, LA Knight, or the Universal Champion, or something like that, or you know, Intercontinental Champion. So it's giving him a lot of leeway, and I think it's really good, because I think all these years, like McIntyre is a huge dude, and he is so strong and so big, and it's like you see him and it reminds you of like the characters back in the day, and you're just like, we want McIntyre to win. Like he is like the Triple H or the Undertaker, you know, like he there's so many other people that he more so resembles and could fight, and he would have been a beast. But like right now they're diminishing him so much that I think that he really deserves his own time with a title, and I think this is like the only way for him to do it. And on the contrary, WWE gets their Seth Rollins versus CM Punk rivalry, which I think is great. And again, like I think that the focus of like Seth with both of them, with CM Punk and McIntyre, being like McIntyre would get mad at Seth for not counting to 3 so fast. CM Punk got his bracelet back, and then it fell on the mat, and Seth picked it up, which little signs there. And I think, you know, like, so he was like a distraction for CM Punk, and there's just, you know, there's so much going on. There was so much going on, but it was so interesting because it was just like, what's going to happen? And then, like, finally, it's like McIntyre goes and takes the bracelet back off of CM Punk. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. That's a really interesting storyline. I think that McIntyre should just focus on going up and getting a title. I think Seth should just focus on beating up CM Punk and getting his win there. Or maybe CM Punk should win. I don't know. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you think about that. Okay, we have 2 more matches to get through. First is another little doozy, which is Gunther versus Damian Priest, which at the beginning I thought was a great match because Gunther and Damian Priest are of similar size. They both have this like martial arts background. They both are just out of this world strong in their own ways, and I really like they have this like they both have this like badass in the streets kind of fighting. And what I really thought was that Damian was going to win because my prediction was that Rhea was going to lose. And I thought, okay, well, if Rhea loses, Damian has to stay in the Judgment Day and keep leading it and like create this feud. Nowhere did I think that Finn was going to come in and betray Damian. But again, in one of my previous videos, I had said that Damian or Finn has always played second fiddle to Damian, and I think that that really has now like completed the Judgment Day, where it's like Rhea and Damian are out. Obviously, they don't want to be in it, and the Judgment Day doesn't want them to be in that. And so now it's like the Judgment Day has like really diminished a little bit. And so, you know, I think that like now it's going to be a little bit of a fight between like, oh, we have like the Liv is the new Rhea, Dom, I don't know, Dom is just Dom. And Finn is now like the new Damian, where he's like the muscle. He's going to be like the one. But I think like eventually it's going to cause chaos. Other thing I think is that this gives a lot of room for Damian and Rhea to be their own individuals now. Whether that's like they kind of create a team together and they're like, all right, you dominate the women's division, I'll go dominate the men's division, and we'll be like partners, but like we don't need to have like the Judgment Day. So, you know, it is kind of like, it was really disappointing to see Finn do that because it's like, you know, you came in with Damian and Rhea, and for months now, or like who knows how long, they have been planning to get Rhea and Damian out. And they finally did it. But this can, like, I think that Damian is just this character that can really hold himself. So I don't know if it's that big of a deal, but I do think that like the betrayal is going to cause a little bit of drama. Okay, let's get to the final of the final. The crazy of the crazy. Let's get into Cody versus Solo. This match actually started out really great. And it does show that Solo has a lot of strength. And, you know, he has like that viciousness. And Cody's obviously like a really great character. He's a really great fighter. He did everything he possibly could to muscle over Solo. And the great parts of it are when, you know, obviously when Toma Tonga and Tonga Loa, sorry. I always get their names mixed up, so I wrote it down so that I wouldn't forget. It's when they came out and they start beating on Cody. And Cody is like wearing down. And I have to say, Cody is like a fighter. Like for both of those guys and Solo, like beating him up, crazy. Then, you know, KO runs out, Randy Orton runs out, and it's just like they like boot the Tonga and whatever. They boot them out, and it's like, okay, where's Jacob Fatu? We all are wondering. And he comes out, and he's like this, I don't know, it's like a rampant coyote that you just can't control. I don't know what to call him, but he's like a fucking wildebeest. And then it's the big reveal, which we all were waiting for and wanted. And it made us all love Roman again. And I think that that's exactly what WWE wanted. They want to bring Roman back as a babyface, where he can win back, you know, maybe his title, maybe not, or like just like work towards a new title. But that was like the craziest moment, I think, for all of us, where we just saw him come back. And I kind of predicted it. It was in my predictions, but I also just didn't know how I was going to feel when he came back, because again, like I haven't ever been the biggest Roman fan ever since he became the undisputed champion. But then like suddenly it's like, wow, like this was awesome because you're taking your title back. And I think that this leads to a match between him and Solo, and possibly The Rock coming back, which could be really interesting. Nonetheless, to say, this SummerSlam was one of the best. And I'm so happy for everyone who won except for Liv. And I mean, the Gunther match was a happy, sad kind of thing because I wanted Damian to win, but I think that this gives a really big opening for Damian and Rhea, and I'm really happy for that. So it's going to be exciting. I'm excited to see what's going to happen leading up to WrestleMania. Please comment, like, subscribe, tell me your thoughts, follow me on Instagram, wrestling_babe316, and let's talk about this because so much happened and I feel like I kind of like went past the Cody and Solo thing just because I talked about it a lot in my last video. So go watch that and let's talk about this because this was a great SummerSlam, and give me your thoughts about what you think is going to happen on Raw tomorrow. I digress.